vision's a little blurry, so without the light,
Yeah.
let's say this is I can't
Call this a
really
minute with
read
Marcelo.
this. So I think here it'd be like 120 something millimeters, whatever.
It's from the, do you call that an eye? The eye?
Yeah, from the eye. So whatever this thing says, you go to the middle of the pin
Okay.
and you take that measurement in millimeters.
Yeah.
You don't measure decimeter, it goes in millimeters. Sometimes all the way up there you're looking at, 1,000 something millimeters. So your first measurement is from the hitch pin to the speaking length bridge pin.
Right.
Then your next measurement is from
that pin to here, right?
From your speaking length. This you can go underneath the damper, for example, so that you don't mess up your measurement by going under or over something, because you want it to be straight as possible. So here, like this is 16.0, is it 16.0? 12.0. Yeah, so here you go, for example, 1014, 120, 1214. So you're talking about 1,214 millimeters. So that's to the middle of your A graph, right dead center of your A graph. Your next measurement is gonna be the tuning pin.
Right. So all the places of contact.
Yeah, so the tuning pin is not that important because usually they make them too long. Arledge wants the tuning pin size because he likes to cut them for you to the tuning pin size, but I think he never cuts them to the right length.
Oh, right, that's right.
Because my Beckett doesn't end up where I like it. So I like Mapes because Mape cuts them way too long and you take whatever string off you want. Now, if you really have no string to send them at all, then what you want to do is, so that they know,
get the length from here, right?
is you get the windings also. So here you get your hitch pin to
the winding.
To this. Well, if they know where this is, they know how far the winding's supposed to be go away. But you can tell them where the winding starts from the hitch pin. The winding starts at this many millimeters and ends in that many millimeters.
Yeah.
And then you can give them this measurement. They basically need,
right?
well, they need to know what an A graph is because they can go with the copper all the way here. It just depends on the sound. The amount of copper has to do, you have to measure the core of the bass string. That gets measured in thousandths of an inch. So you write down inner diameter of the string or the core, and then you write that down in thousandths of an inch, and then you take the copper winding outer diameter and measure that in thousandths of an inch. So for some reason, these lengths get measured in millimeters. The diameters of the strings, they get measured in thousandths of an inch. And so you take those 5 measurements. I can give you a sheet that I don't use anymore. It's not from Mapes, it's from Arledge. But I just use that to see what information I need, and I just write it down on a notepad.
They're the main 2 string makers, are they? Arledge and Mapes.
There's another one in Canada. Mapes is the biggest one. And I like Mapes because a lot of times I can just tell them, say, hey, I have a Bernhard Steiner model G-82.
Yeah.
This is the serial number. Sometimes there's information on the plate that tells you what scale size it is. But like with Yamahas and Steinways, I can pretty much just give them the make, model, serial number. And what strings I need. I ordered a couple of strings, a couple of unisons for my dad.
So they're saving all the data they get then?
Yeah.
The
so
database.
He needed like these strings. And so I just call and say, hey, my dad is in Mexico. His customer has a Yamaha. This is the model. This is the serial number. With the serial number, they can find what age it is. They can figure out what kind of scale they were making back then.
Who gives them that data? Does Yamaha provide?
Yamaha, yeah.
So Yamaha help them
Mapes
out.
makes all the strings for Yamaha.
Oh, they make the strings.
They
yeah.
make the strings for
They
Yamaha.
send them off to Japan and
Yeah.
Japan.
There was a customer once in Mexico that says, I want strings from Yamaha.
Hmm.
I want the original ones from Yamaha.
Right.
What ended up happening, my dad ordered them with Yamaha in Japan. Yamaha says, well, we don't make those strings in the United States. You have to order those from Yamaha in Japan. Yamaha doesn't make strings over here. My dad called Japan, ordered the strings, told them name, model, serial number. They said, okay, no problem. Guess where they ordered it? They
Mapes.
called Mapes in the United States. Mapes in the United States send the strings to Japan. Japan send them to Mexico. So now you're looking at 2 import and export fees. So
On
the
top of the
strings
string.
end up costing. Then Yamaha adds their
Shipping.
profits on it too, and their shipping. So now you're paying 2 times shipping. Mapes charges you a fee. They charge you a fee. My dad has to charge a fee
To fit it, right? Yeah.
and
the time
he
shipping.
ended up with where every string is like $60, where you can order strings and get them for like 20 something if you order them directly from Mapes. So that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
No,
My
That's not-
dad's
it's not money anyway for those companies. That's just kind of complimentary payment.
it's just the hassle.
In Europe, I think it's Rosler, isn't it? Rosler make the strings?
Roslau, they're German. I like Mapes better.
For Mapes.
Mapes, they have the wire, the Gold Series.
Yeah.
I just like to use the Mapes bass strings with the Gold Series. Roslau, I don't like their string. Their strings are too. The metal is too stiff.
Right. So break.
It breaks easy. It's hard to work with. Mapes is a lot more flexible and a lot easier to make your coils and bend your Beckett's. And
Which sound better, Mapes or Rosler?
I think Mapes does.
Really?
I think Roslau, their sound is tinier than Mapes is.
A bit harsher.
Yeah, and there's another brand in Canada that makes bass strings. They make really good bass strings, but then you have to, pay import-export tax fees. So especially with coppers and stuff, it gets expensive.
Yeah.
Arledge, we started ordering a lot from Arledge. I've had several times where the winding is just sliding up and down on the string.
Yeah.